She was left bleeding in the mud by the only family she had. Then a mysterious cowboy stopped his horse beside her in the middle of the storm. But when he carried the broken girl to his lonely ranch, he discovered a secret about her that changed both of their lives forever. What did he see in her eyes that made him risk everything? Watch the full story till the end, and follow our page for more emotional stories like this. Before we start the journey, tell me in the comments, where are you listening from, and what time is right now? Sarah Michelle was only 8 years old when her happy world ended. Her father was a gentle farmer who told her stories every night and gave her warm hugs. One cold morning, he died in a farming accident. Sarah cried until her eyes were red and swollen. She felt like the sun had gone out of her life forever. After her father's death, her uncle Jacob Thornton came to take her away. He was her only family now. But Jacob did not have a kind heart. He saw Sarah as a free worker, not a little girl who needed love. Every day he made her clean the house, cook food, wash clothes, and feed the animals. If she made even a small mistake, he shouted at her and sometimes hit her. Sarah never heard kind words. She never got a soft touch or a smile. At night, she lay in her cold bed and whispered to the stars, "Please send someone who will love me." Years passed. Sarah grew into a beautiful young woman of 18. She was quiet and strong inside, even though her life was hard. One evening, her uncle came home with a big smile on his face. "Sarah," he said, "I have found a rich husband for you. His name is Walter Briggs. He lives far in the West. He has a big house, many horses, and lots of money. This marriage will make us rich too." Sarah felt a cold fear in her stomach. "But uncle, I do not know him," she said softly. Jacob's face became angry. "You will do what I say. This is not about your feelings. It is about money and power." He did not care what Sarah wanted. To him, she was just something to sell. A few days later, Jacob took Sarah to meet Walter Briggs. Walter was a tall man with hard eyes and a mean smile. He smelled of strong drink. When he looked at Sarah, it made her feel small and dirty. "She is pretty enough," Walter said to Jacob. "She will be my wife soon. I like young girls who know how to obey." He laughed loudly. Sarah's heart beat fast with fear. She knew this man was cruel. He would never love her. He would only hurt her. That same night, Sarah made a brave choice. She could not marry Walter. She packed a small cloth bag with 2 dresses, a little bread, and her mother's old locket. She waited until everyone was asleep, then she ran out into the dark night. The road was empty and scary, but she kept running. Her heart pounded like a drum. She hoped to find a town or a kind stranger. For the first time in many years, she felt a tiny bit of hope. But her hope did not last long. After only a few hours, she heard horse hooves behind her. It was her uncle. His face was red with anger. "You stupid, ungrateful girl," he shouted. He jumped off his horse and grabbed her arm so hard it hurt. Sarah tried to pull away, but he was much stronger. He slapped her face hard. Then he hit her again and again. Sarah fell to the muddy ground. Pain exploded in her head, her ribs, and her arms. She cried and begged, "Please stop, Uncle. Please." But he did not stop. He kicked her with his heavy boots until she could not move. Then the sky opened and heavy rain began to fall. Cold water soaked her clothes in seconds. Jacob stood over her, breathing hard. "You want to run? Then die here like a dog," he said. He spat on the ground and rode away into the storm, leaving her alone. Sarah lay on the cold, wet road. Every part of her body hurt. Blood mixed with rain on her face. She could not stand. She could barely breathe. "This is the end," she thought. "No one will find me. I will die here alone." Tears rolled down her cheeks and mixed with the rain. She closed her eyes and waited for darkness to take her. But something changed. In the middle of the loud storm, Sarah heard the sound of a horse coming closer. The horse stopped near her. A man got down quickly. He was tall and strong, but when he saw her, his face filled with sadness and worry. His name was Thomas Reed. He was a rancher who lived nearby. He had been riding home when he saw a shape on the road. Thomas knelt beside her. His hands were gentle as he touched her face. "Oh, dear God," he whispered. "What happened to you, poor girl?" Sarah opened her eyes a little. She was terrified. She thought he might hurt her like the others. But his eyes were soft and kind. He carefully lifted her into his strong arms. She was wet, cold, and broken, but he held her like she was something precious. "Don't be afraid," Thomas said in a calm, deep voice. "I will never hurt you. Now you are safe." Those 4 words went straight into Sarah's broken heart like warm sunlight. No one had ever said anything so kind to her. For the first time in 10 long years, a small flame of hope lit inside her chest. She rested her head against his chest and let the tears fall. Thomas put her on his horse and rode fast through the rain to his ranch. He kept talking softly to her the whole way. "Hold on, little one. We are almost home." When they reached the big wooden ranch house, an old woman named Maria came running out with a lantern. She was like a kind grandmother. "Oh, my sweet Lord," she cried when she saw Sarah's condition. "Bring her inside right now." Maria made a soft bed near the warm fire. She cleaned Sarah's cuts with gentle hands and warm water. She gave her hot chicken soup and wrapped her in thick blankets that smelled of lavender. "You are safe here, my child," Maria said, stroking Sarah's hair. "No one will ever hurt you again." Thomas stayed nearby all night. He sat in a chair by the fire and watched over her. Every time Sarah woke up crying from a nightmare, he was there. "Shh, you are safe now," he would say. His voice was like a strong, steady wall around her heart. Days turned into weeks. Sarah's body slowly healed. The bruises faded from dark purple to yellow, then disappeared. But her heart was still full of fear. She jumped at loud noises. She had bad dreams about her uncle and Walter. Sometimes she woke up shaking. Thomas never pushed her to talk. He gave her space and time. He brought her fresh flowers from the field and read simple books to her in the evening. He treated her like a person, not a thing to own. Slowly, Sarah began to help around the ranch. She helped Maria cook big pots of stew and bake fresh bread. The kitchen always smelled warm and happy. She learned to milk the gentle cows and collect eggs from the chickens. Thomas taught her how to ride a calm horse named Daisy. "You are doing so well," he said with a proud smile. "You have a natural gift with animals." Sarah felt something new inside her. Pride. No one had ever praised her before. She also helped Thomas with his ranch papers and money books. She was quick with numbers. Thomas was amazed. "You are smarter than most men I know," he told her one evening. Sarah blushed and smiled. It was the first real smile she had given in many years. As the months passed, a deep and quiet love grew between them. It was not loud or sudden. It was like a river flowing slowly and surely. Sarah saw how Thomas treated everyone with respect, the workers, the animals, even the land. He was strong, but his strength was used to protect, never to hurt. Thomas watched Sarah with gentle eyes. He saw her courage. She had been broken so badly, yet every day she tried to stand a little taller. He admired her quiet strength more than anything. One warm summer evening, they sat together on the wooden porch. The sky was full of pink and orange colors as the sun went down. Crickets sang softly in the grass. Thomas looked at Sarah for a long time. Then he spoke in a soft voice. "Sarah," he said, "I need to tell you something important. I have fallen in love with you. You are in my thoughts every morning and every night. But I want you to know this clearly. I will never force you. If you want to stay here only as a friend, that is perfectly fine. You have had enough people controlling your life. I want you to be free to choose. Your happiness matters more to me than my own feelings." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Her heart felt too big for her chest. No man had ever given her a real choice before. She thought about all the pain she had lived through, the beatings, the fear, the feeling of being nothing. Then she looked at Thomas. His face was honest and full of love. She knew in that moment that she loved him too. Not because he saved her life, but because he had given her back her soul. "Thomas," she whispered, her voice shaking with emotion, "when you found me that rainy night, I was already dead inside. You did not just save my body. You saved my heart. You showed me that good men exist. I love you. I love you with everything I am. And I choose you, freely and happily." Thomas's eyes shone with joy. He took her hand gently and kissed it. "Then let us build a beautiful life together," he said. They got married in the spring under the wide blue sky. It was a simple wedding. Sarah wore a pretty white dress that Maria had sewn with love. Thomas looked handsome in his clean white shirt and best hat. Only a few close friends came. There were no big flowers or fancy music, but there was so much real love in the air that it felt more beautiful than any rich wedding. When Thomas said his vows, his voice was strong and sure. When Sarah said hers, tears of happiness rolled down her cheeks. She knew her new life had truly begun.
Years passed like a warm, happy river. Sarah and Thomas had two beautiful daughters, Lily and Rose. The ranch was always filled with laughter, the smell of baking bread, and the sound of children playing. Sarah sometimes looked back at her dark past, but it no longer hurt the way it used to. The pain had made her stronger. Thomas's love had healed every broken piece of her heart. One rainy night, when the girls were 12 and 10, Sarah gathered them close to the warm fireplace. The rain tapped gently on the windows, just like that terrible night so many years ago. Thomas sat nearby, watching his family with love in his eyes. "Girls," Sarah said softly, "I want to tell you a story about your mother. It is a story of great pain, but also of great hope." She told him everything, about her cruel uncle, about Walter Briggs, about the beating and the cold rain.
and about the kind man on the horse who lifted her up and said the words that changed everything. Now you are safe. She told them how Thomas taught her to trust again, how real love is not about owning someone or having power over them. Real love is about respect, safety, kindness, and standing beside each other through every storm. Lily and Rose listened with wide eyes and held their mother's hands tightly. "You are the bravest person in the world, Mama," Lily said. Rose nodded and hugged her. Sarah smiled and looked at Thomas. "No, my loves," she said. "The bravest and strongest thing in this world is kindness. One person's kindness can save a whole life. Remember this always. Even when everything feels dark and cold, light can still come. And love, real love, can heal anything." Thomas walked over and wrapped his strong arms around his wife and daughters. Outside, the rain continued to fall, but inside the house, it was warm, safe, and full of love. Sarah closed her eyes and thanked God for that stormy night so long ago. The same rain that had almost taken her life had brought her to the man who gave her everything: safety, respect, and a love that would last forever. Thank you so much for watching this story all the way till the end. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. It really helps us a lot. If you want to watch more exciting stories like this, don't forget to subscribe our page right now. Tell me in the comments, where are you listening from and what time is right now? And if this story touched your heart, please send some stars. Every single star gives us huge motivation to keep creating more amazing videos for you. See you in the next story. Take care of you, friends.